Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor. Today, how long will it take to pass my driving test? So today, how long will it take to pass my driving test? How many hours is it going to take to pass my driving test? As you know, I post videos of people doing stupid things on the road. I do it a lot because it's an awareness. It's things that people should be aware of that could happen. The things that I do upload, though, are also fails on a driving test. They are out and out, either serious or dangerous fails. Now, there's some that I don't upload. I do see them, lane changes and running red lights, that I don't upload. And the reason for that is because I get absolutely slated in the comments. Yes, absolutely slated. To a point where people start finger pointing and say, "Oh, you're wrong there, Ryan. You're getting that wrong." No, I don't know what to say to it, really. If you think I'm wrong, fine. You've got your own opinion about it. But it would be a fail on a driving test. I posted this video. And in this video, what happens is the van gets hit. So I told the van driver, I contacted him, found his name on the side of the van, contacted him, very interested in it. And he took it to his insurer because the car hit the van. Lots of people have watched that and commented on it and said, "Oh, there's nothing happens there, Ryan." Well, there is, because he physically takes his wing mirror off. How could you not see that? Anyway, this video, well, this is frightening. This is people that think they are in the right, overtaking on a junction, first of all, and also overtaking a slower car, a learner under instruction that only had about 6 hours of instruction, in an area that was pretty suitable. It was hilly, it was in Morpeth. We were learning about control of the car, about position and speed. It's in a state that you can't really go much faster than 20 in because of the severe turns in it, and you wouldn't want to really go much more than 20. And I do believe, and I am understanding, that it is 30 all the way around this estate. I understand that. Reality is, though, that should you be overtaking a learner car when there is somebody parked on the opposite side of the road and then cutting back in? The answer is simply no, you wouldn't. If you cause somebody to slow down, swerve or stop or beat the horn, flash the light, stick the V's up, shout obscenities, if you are causing somebody to do that, you become a hazard. So if you are a hazard, therefore you are a dangerous hazard, and therefore you'd fail your driving test for an inappropriate manoeuvre. The guy that overtook, don't know who he is, don't really care, not really all that interesting. He's never going to submit any of this information to the police because it's pointless. It's a pointless exercise. There's nothing going to happen to that driver that wouldn't make any difference, and it just becomes telltale tit, and you're a bit of a grass, really. I'm not into grassing on people, I'm just showing how other people perceive the world. But with that particular video, somebody decided to comment on it, all 11 seconds of that video, and they put in, "Oh, I had 9 hours of driving and I passed my driving test." Me, well done. I probably bleep that bit out, but you get my point. How long does it take to pass the driving test? Now, the guy in the comments has said he took 9 hours. You know what? I think he's talking out of here. What the DVSA want is they want a pupil to come to an exam that is ready to do a driving test, not only mentally but also physically, driving independently. Any ADI worth his salt wouldn't submit a person to a driving test who they felt isn't ready. And I know that sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get under that little bit of pressure to push somebody to go and do it. But I've never knowingly submitted somebody to a driving test who I thought, "You're going to fail." You get some that you think they're a bit nervous and they're a bit awkward and they might find it difficult to do. That is inevitable. But then I'm thinking, I've never known anybody submit anybody to a driving test with anything less than, say, 15 hours. Let's say 15 hours. If you're an ADR out there and you're thinking about submitting somebody to a driving test who only had 15 hours from brand new, getting in the car and you teaching them how to set themselves up all the way to being test ready, how long is that process? And that's the question. You wouldn't submit somebody from fresh after 15 hours. And this guy in the comments, and I've deleted all those comments if anybody's interested, I deleted all those comments because they were getting a little bit argumentative and it was a pointless thing. This guy reckoned that he could pass in 9 hours, or he passed his test in 9 hours, went to go and do his driving test, and his instructor had forgotten all about his driving and test. So he went to his mum and dad and said, right, I'm going to do my driving test today, can I take your car? So he took their car and he passed in 9 hours. I presume this was before 1997 because, well, they didn't really care about that. But in today's environment, absolutely 100%, I think even back then, to be fair, you wouldn't really take anybody to a driving test. One you thought wasn't ready, but also somebody that's done less than 20 hours. Your professional integrity would scream at you that the person hasn't had enough experience on the road. Even if they learn the whole book, cover to cover, start to finish, and they've done that on lessons, and they've done it, let's say, 16 hours, you're not going to stick them in for a test straight away. I think the lowest amount somebody had with me was about 30, something like that. And it wasn't because I was taking a risk, it's because they had their own private car. And they were literally duplicating that lesson. Once I'd done my lesson, they were going out for an hour and they were duplicating the lesson we'd worked on. So left turns or right turns or roundabouts or any subject matter you can think of, leaving and joining a highway or something. And they had done nearly 50 hours in their own private car, duplicating my lesson. So I know that had happened. So because I knew that happened, actually, kind of stuck her in and thought she's going to pass anyway. She was literally driving to the driving test centre as if she'd done 100 hours, which she more or less had. So how long does it take to pass a driving test? Well, DVSA say 50 to 60 hours of professional instruction and about 20, 25, 30 hours of private practice in your own vehicle. That's what the DVSA say. Do you think anybody right now could pass in 9 hours? Probably not. Given that the traffic levels compared to even 1995, let's say 1995, let's say 29 years ago, just for a number. Let's say 30 years ago, the amount of traffic on the road has probably doubled, if not more. The technology in the cars has significantly changed to a point where there's a lot more distractions and a lot more safety inside the car, and a lot of stuff's changed. Even the driving test has changed with regards to manoeuvres and the way that you do things on the road. A driving examiner wants you absolutely 100% ready, meaning that when you get that little blue certificate, that when you've got it, that he trusts you to drive on the road with his kids in the back of the car with no assistance. So there's nobody sat beside you telling exactly what to do. Yeah, you might get somebody giving you directions, but ultimately he wants you driving independently. Follow the signs, follow the sat-navs. He wants you to do it independently. He hasn't got to tell you about signals or changing gear if you're in a manual, or he hasn't got to tell you all about looking in your mirrors. You should just do it. This is part of your understanding to pass a driving test. My poster who posted about 9 hours then went on and said that I was totally incompetent, and then it got a little bit shouty when I started to delete stuff. And I think that was the right thing to do. I don't think anybody needed to read through those comments. And I know it's free speech, don't get me wrong, but there's no need to argue about somebody doing something stupid on the road that clearly is wrong. And that's what it boils down to, doesn't it? Did that look right? No, it didn't. How long should it take to pass a test? Well, far longer than the person who overtook. Maybe they should have had a bit more thoughtfulness, a bit more experience. Maybe. The thing is, If they'd waited an extra 20 seconds, the same as the van thing, if they'd waited an extra 20 seconds, now maybe an extra 10 seconds, the way was clear. There would have been no problem at all. They would have got round the van. Well, actually, we would have gone past them and have gone round the van. We would have gone past the other thing. We would have gone past the other car, the other van on the other side, and they could have overtaken us then. Even if I was doing 16, 17 miles an hour, the kid in the car only done 6 hours of driving. Does that mean the test ready? Absolutely not. Are they going to be ready? I don't know. That's the thing. How long is a piece of string? I have no idea. Sometimes somebody can get in your car, absolute superstars. I had a person that got in my car and I just thought, how do you know all this stuff? How do you know how to do all this stuff? I've hardly shown you, and you just know how to do it. Never had any experience. Somebody had been out in the car with mum and dad, passenger seat, back seat, maybe watching them drive. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get somebody in the car that's quite capable of passing the test in 15 hours, no doubt about it. But I wouldn't take them to a driving test. I would assess them. I would do assessment for the last 3 or 4 hours. It's worth putting that time in so you know you're taking that person to a driving test who is going to pass. And I think that's the point. Do you think that you could pass a test in 15 hours? Maybe you can reply in the comments. Some people will. I've got no doubt about that. I'm not arguing that point. I'm arguing that how long does it take to pass a test? Well, maybe about 45 to 50 hours to make sure I'm going to get a positive result. Even if they fail, I know they've made an effort. They've put 100% into it. If you're taking somebody to a driving test with 30 hours, maybe they won't. Maybe they just think it's a bit of a game. It isn't a game. It's not fun. It's 35 minutes of crap that you've got to put up with from an examiner about passing a driving test. And I think that's the point, isn't it? If you want to pass the test, put the hours in. I don't know why the poster said that they could pass in 9 hours. Maybe they did back in the dark ages. You certainly wouldn't be able to pass that in today's market. Definitely not. Well, if you like what you saw today, why not like and subscribe? I hope you enjoy your weekend. I don't know what it's going to do this weekend. It's been cloudy and crappy and a bit cold. It's like 3 degrees today. And yeah, so what? Just cold, isn't it? Yeah. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Somebody just in front of me. I'm just going to have a little look at that. Around here. Better bleep that out. Let's wait for this daft woman to walk away. Definitely too busy down here. I'm down at the Silver Link of all places. Somebody's parked like a Modus, a shitty Modus next to me. No power.